All right, here we are back for another episode. All right, we are going to get into the Cubano sandwich. But first, before we get into the Cubano sandwich, we're going to walk through something very important to that sandwich, which is pickles. We like to make our own pickles, bread and butter style, and we'll walk you through that step by step. So first thing you need is obviously good quality cucumbers. These are Kirby cucumbers, a little bit shorter, a little bit firmer, and have a little bit of a thicker skin than your typical select or standard cucumber. Okay. These are some of the spices we're going to be playing around with, but I'll put the recipe out later. Obviously, we need some salt, dill, celery seed, mustard seed, all right, citric acid, sodium citrate, turmeric, some coriander, and some allspice. This is recipe I developed that is basically perfect for the Cubano sandwich. So that's why the spices might be a little bit different than what you traditionally see with the bread and butter pickles. Next, let's talk about the vessel that they're going to go in. Okay, these are mason jars. Okay, I cleaned them thoroughly with some hot soapy water. All right, so now they're clean, but they're still not sterilized. So the other step we got to do for this is take you over here. I got a pot of boiling water, or almost boiling water, going on right now, and I want to take these mason jars and submerge them completely in the boiling water for 10 minutes, and then pull them out carefully with a pair of tongs, and that is going to set me up with then sterilized canning jars. Okay. All right. And then the other part of this is the brine, which we're going to get into in a little bit. Basically, I'm going to do equal parts vinegar, white vinegar, and apple cider vinegar, and then we'll add in all the aromatics and the spices, and it'll be delicious. All right. So we'll be back. right, welcome back as we get set to make our Cubano sandwich. All right, I'm going to walk you through the ingredients that are needed, and then we're going to get into actually making the sandwich itself. So we have our homemade brine pickles, right? They've been curing for about 24 hours now, a little more than that. Obviously, the longer the better, but nothing wrong with a young pickle. All right, we have some mustard. Traditionally be like a yellow mustard. I personally like it kicked up a little bit more. So this is a horseradish mustard. We have our slow cooked pork, which is traditionally a pork shoulder or pork butt. You can slow cook it in your slow cooker. Or you could just roast it at a low temperature in your oven. That also works just as well. All right, we have some country ham here as well. And traditionally, this would be made with a Swiss cheese, but unfortunately, I don't have any. That's number one. And number two, I'm not really a huge fan of Swiss cheese. So I'm going to make it the way that I really want to make it because, again, I'm the one eating it. So we're using American cheese, which is what I have on hand. All right. Cuban bread would be important for this sandwich as well. I couldn't locate any. What I did get, though, next best thing, I think, in my opinion, is a Portuguese roll. A hoagie roll or anything like that will work out also as well for this sandwich too. Okay, so I'm going to cut open the sandwich. I'm going to start assembling all the ingredients, but first I want to go ahead and sear some of this meat before I do that. Okay, so you can see my skillet here. It's getting nice and hot. I'm going to go ahead and put my pork and ham on there and get that nice and hot before I assemble my sandwich. I have another cast iron pan here, which I'm going to show you in a minute what I'm going to do with that when we go to actually griddle the sandwich. Because this is a pressed panini or griddled sandwich. So we're going to need to also do that. And I'm going to show you how I do it at home because I don't have a George Foreman or a panini press in my house. All right, we'll be back. Okay, so we're back, and you saw how I assembled the sandwich, right? Mustard, pickles, pork, ham, and cheese. And you also saw that I buttered the outside of the bread. Then I wrapped it in a aluminum foil, okay? And now I'm basically making a homemade panini press, if you will. The sandwich is going to sear on one side of, or in one cast iron pan, and I'm going to use my other cast iron pan, which I heated my meat up in, to kind of act as its weight. Okay, if you do not have two cast iron pans at home, which both hold a good amount of weight, then you can simply use whatever weight you have, like a can, a couple of cans of something, or a couple cans of beans, or whatever it is, to put on top of another pan to give it that weight to kind of start pressing the sandwich. All right, I am on high heat right now. I'm probably going to turn it down a little bit. But at this point, we're just toasting the outside of the sandwich, melting the cheese, and then we're going to enjoy.